Good evening, everyone. The Newark Public Schools Board of Education meeting for October 22nd, 2013 is called to order.
Good evening. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 1046 et sec, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by advertising in the Star Ledger, El Nuevo Coquí, Haiti Progress, and Luz Americano newspapers, and by distribution to the administrative offices of the Newark Public Schools. A copy of this meeting notice was also forwarded to City Hall for posting. This is a regular advisory board meeting for Tuesday night, October 22nd, 2013.
Thank you. Please stand for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Mr. Hassan.
Present.
Mr. Kenny. Mr. Lewis.
Here.
Ms. Matias.
Present.
Dr. McCreary.
Present.
Ms. Perello.
Here.
Ms. Pinto-Marin. Mr. Rashidi.
Here.
Chair Basketball Richardson.
Present.
Student Representative Mr. Thomas.
Present.
Quorum is present, Madam Chair.
Thank you. We will now have greetings and student recognitions. We are actually fortunate that this evening we have both principals of both of our components of Barringer High School, Principals Wayne Dennis and Principal Yvonne Waller, and they will be accompanied by students Brian Velasquez and student Caria Castillo.
Let's give it up with a round of claps for these students.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Barringer Academy of Arts and Humanities. Thank you all for coming and supporting with your care for the students' development. My name is Brian Velasquez. I am a student here at the Academy, and I am currently a junior with 16 years of age and a long life ahead of me. My dream is to become a mechanic when I graduate from college and hopefully own my own shop one day. And with a good education and a good college degree, I plan on chasing my dream. This school has changed in a variety of ways since I've started attending the Academy. From a change of staff, classes, and the way it runs. But I've come to realize the change is for the greater good of the students. This school has improved in many ways and has become a better environment for the student body, and with greater improvements to come. I stand before you today as one student with the voice of thousands of students in the New York Public Schools. I thank you for listening to me, but now it's your turn to listen to the rest of the students who have something to say. Thank you all once again for coming, and have a great evening.
Good evening, my name is Carla Castillo, and I am a proud senior at the STEAM Academy. In 2009, I moved to this country from the Dominican Republic, and I am now finishing my 4th year at STEAM, which has provided me more support to achieve my dreams than ever before at Barringer High School. I started 9th grade here knowing no English, but I learned so much that I passed the HESPA last spring with advanced proficiency in mathematics. Even with this accomplishment, I was still worried if I was good enough to get into college, embarrassed of my accent. I was selected to attend College Summit last summer, and it changed my life. Their program gave me confidence in my ability to attend college and showed me to overcome my fear of public speaking in only 4 days. I would like to thank my teacher, Ms. Liriano, and my principal, Mr. Dennis, for believing in me to represent the STEAM Academy, and also the Newark Public Schools for investing in the future of our students here. College Summit will change hearts and minds forever. Thank you all for coming out this night. Buenas noches, mi nombre es Carla Castillo y soy un senior en STEAM Academy. En 2009 llegué a este país desde la República Dominicana y ahora estoy terminando mi 4º año en STEAM, quienes me han proporcionado más apoyo para lograr mis sueños que nunca antes en Barringer High School. Empecé el 9º grado aquí sin saber nada de inglés, pero aprendí tanto que pasé el GESP en la primavera pasada con conocimientos avanzados en matemáticas. A pesar de este logro, todavía estaba preocupada si era lo suficientemente buena para entrar en la universidad y estaba avergonzada de mi acento. Fui seleccionada para ir a College Summit el verano pasado y me cambió la vida. Este programa me dio confianza y me enseñaron a superar mi miedo a hablar en público en solo 4 días. Me gustaría dar las gracias a la señora Liriano y a nuestro principal, el señor Dennis, por creer en mí para representar a la Academia de STEAM, y también a las escuelas públicas de Newark por invertir en el futuro de nuestros estudiantes. College Summit va a cambiar corazones y mentes por siempre. Gracias a todos por venir esta noche.
Thank you. I will have something a little more to say about Barringer High School when I make remarks just a bit later. And we will move now to item 5 on our agenda, the approval of minutes.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr. Hassan.
prior to moving on to the approval of the minutes, I would like to make a motion that the minutes from the August 22nd advisory board, the advisory board meeting from February 26, 2013, March 19, 2013, March 25, 2013, March 26, 2013, and March 28, 2013 be voted on as separate items.
Second.
I'm sorry, are you asking that they be voted on as separate items or as that they be voted as 2 separate packets?
They be voted on as 2 separate packets, so one block would be the dates that I just mentioned, and the
Yes.
second block would be the dates April 23rd, May 13th, and August 22nd.
Yes, absolutely. And just for discussion on that, that the purpose of that would be so that the board members can only vote on the minutes for the time that they were actually on the board.
Correct, Madam Chair.
So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Rashidi.
All right, so this is, Mr. Hassan, your motion was a motion, why don't we just take it as 2 separate motions, one for August, April, and May, and the rest for March and February, so you want to do it that way?
Is that
Okay,
acceptable?
all right, so this is a motion then to vote on approval of minutes for August 22nd, May 13th, and April 23rd for the board members that are on the board for the 13-14 school year, the present board. Sir, is that right, Mr. Hassan? Okay.
Yes, sir, that's
Mr.
correct.
Hassan moves that. Second. Mr. Rashidi? Okay, so this is a motion to vote on the August 22nd, May 13, and April 23rd minutes, moved by Mr. Hassan, second by Mr. Rashidi. Mr. Hassan?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Matias?
Yes.
Dr. McCreary?
Yes.
Ms. Perello?
Yes.
Mr. Rashidi?
Yes.
Chair Baskel-Richardson?
Yes.
Okay. The remaining items are the minutes from March 28, March 26, March 25, March 19, and February 26. So that was the prior board. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
Move it. Second.
Mr. Lewis moves, second by Ms. Perrello. Again, this is a motion for the March and February minutes. Mr. Hassan?
Abstain.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Matthias?
Yes.
Dr. McCreary?
Yes.
Ms. Perrello?
Yes.
Mr. Rashidi?
Abstain.
Chair Baskel Richardson?
Yes.
Motion carries.
We'll now move to item 6, report of the advisory board chairperson. Greetings to our students, our parents, community members, and I'm happy to see many members of the Barringer community here today. I see parents, I see students, I see people who work in Barringer now and who have worked at Barringer in past years. Greetings to my fellow board members, NPS staff, and Superintendent Anderson. Whenever the board meets at Barringer High School, it is of special significance to me because I spent over 30 years of my life here as a teacher at this school and many hours on the stage that we sit on because I was a drama teacher and I directed the plays here for many years. So I love Barringer High School. Not that I don't love any other school, I love them all, but I have that special Blue Bear connection, and I always will. And I apologize to my Week Wake alums because I love Week Wake also, but you know, as we sit here today in Barringer High School, I would be remiss if I didn't just mention that. So today, Barringer, along with numbers of other schools in the district, is in a fight for its life. So to the students of Barringer and to the students of every school in the Newark Public Schools, what we say to you is that you will win this battle. You will win, first of all, because you are smart. You will win because despite what you are told about the failure of your schools, you come from a tradition of success. And I'll just name 2 people because these are people whose names that you have probably heard somewhere along the way. The late Congressman Donald Payne Sr. graduated from Barringer High School. The Poet Laureate of New Jersey, Amiri Baraka, father of Principal and Councilman Raz Baraka, graduated from Barringer High School. And so many others that we could name. Most are ordinary people who went to school, studied, and many of whom found their passion at Barringer High School in places like this stage, like the gym, like the band room that's right across the way, in the classes, in the sports teams, in the debate clubs, and other after-school activities, guided by dedicated teachers and administrators. We're in a new day. Both the academic and the social challenges are greater than in the past. But what we say to the students is that you stand on our shoulders, and that is why we still stand here. And we say that you will commit to your studies so that you will win. We have that confidence in you, and we want and we expect for you to have it in yourselves. And a special thank you to Brian, to Korea, to Principals Waller and Dennis for the presentation that was given today. It was heartwarming because it was heartfelt, and we say kudos to you, and we wish the best for Barringer High School and for all of our schools in the city. I will now move on to what I call board members around town, and I say this every month, but people may think that because you see us only, sitting here at board meetings, that this is all that we do. We can't be everywhere, but we try to get around as much as we can. Any school, any program that wants board members to attend can contact Ms. Merritt. Ms. Merritt, raise your hand. And she will get the information to us, and she can also be contacted via her NPS email address. So just quickly, and you know that this meeting has come about, really early in the month this year, earlier than usual. So on September 25th, Daniqua Matthias attended the Newark Early Learning Provider Roundtable discussion, and on October 1st, Ms. Matthias visited Quitman Elementary Community School and Newark Daycare Center. Mr. Rashan Hassan attended the monthly meeting of the New Jersey Department of Education in Trenton on October 2nd, and Ms. Daniqua Matthias attended, and I attended the Read for the Record at Clinton Hill Community and Early Childhood Center on October 3rd. Ms. Matthias also attended the New Jersey Department of Education Race to the Top Early Learning Grant Stakeholder Meeting. On October 4th, Mr. Hassan, Ms. Matthias and I attended the Urban Boards Committee meeting, which is part of the New Jersey School Boards Association. On October 10th, Ms. Matthias visited Newton Street Elementary School. And on October 16th, I attended the Latino Education Institute's annual education conference at the Robert Treat Hotel. And this week, although you see them here right now, I don't know how they managed to be in two places at one time, but we have very ambitious board members. Mr. Hassan, Ms. Matthias, and Ms. Perello are also attending the New Jersey School Boards Association in Atlantic City this week. I don't know if they went and came back, if they're going tomorrow, or how it's working, but they are doing all of that almost simultaneously. So that is the board members around town. I'm sure other board members have been other places and done other things, but this is simply what was submitted to me. In addition, our Program and Instruction Committee, in conjunction with Dr. Perkins, is working aggressively to complete the curriculum reviews so that this board may finally move to compliance with QSAC in that area, and we applaud their efforts. And the final part of my statement tonight, I would like to give an update on the return to local control in the area of fiscal management. And I'm sure that most people are aware, but just for those who aren't, that Commissioner Cerf in court a couple of months back agreed that he would work with this board to develop a transition plan to move us back into local control in the area of fiscal management. So we have had a series of meetings, and this is just a overview on where we are with that. On October 18th, Finance Operations Committee Chair, Mr. Hassan and I, along with NPS Business Administrator and General Counsel, met with a representative from Commissioner Cerf's office to discuss the details of the transition. Mr. Hassan and I presented a document detailing our perspective, and that document served as the basis for the discussion. We believe that this crucial series of meetings will result in an agreement between the board, the district, and the State Department of Education that will restore maximum control to the board according to statute, and we are focused now on working out the details of that. At this point, the discussions are making progress, and we are focused from our perspective on moving the process forward as quickly as possible while ensuring that we work out the details so that we're satisfied with the implementation. As we look forward as a board to participating, and I will say for the first time in over 18 years, this board looks forward to participating in the budget development process in the same manner as do board members in other districts in New Jersey. So I just want to take just a second and publicly thank Ms. Valerie Wilson, our BA, because it is, and her staff, because it's their diligent work that put us in the position to regain local control in finance. And I also thank Mr. Hassan for actually developing the document that we presented that is being used as a basis for our meetings. And we will release details as soon as possible, and that ends my report for this evening. We will now move to item 7, report of the student representative, Mr. Thomas.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Whereas September was a month of readjusting to academic norms and establishing connections that would lay a strong foundation for future interactions, October has served primarily as a month of both discussion and learning. In attending the Education Nation special segment on MSNBC's Melissa Harris Perry, ideas were discussed and suggestions exchanged with some of the nation's most dedicated, influential students in regards to such critical factors as school safety, curriculum, technology, funding, and college readiness. Many concepts and techniques learned from this beneficial gathering are easily applicable to similar circumstances existing in Newark Public Schools and will undoubtedly be utilized as a guideline for future endeavors within the district. Also, because learning and applying occurs best when the input of as many sources as possible is considered, in addition to connections already set prior to this month, further ties have been established between myself and the Youth Council, as well as many other established school leaders, so as to ensure that the concerns of an array of individuals are addressed appropriately. For students, however, perhaps above all else, October has been a month of achieving balance. With the first SAT administration of the new school year having taken place this month, in conjunction with most academic and extracurricular pursuits having returned to their normal, rigorous pace, students have been posed with the challenge of developing a healthy balance of all aforementioned elements. Thus, many discussions this month with students were with the intent of determining what exactly we could do to help students maintain this balance as they continue their educational journey. I encourage any further suggestions and am eager to continue aiding in the crafting of an education system that works in the favor and best interest of these students. Thank you, Madam Chair. That concludes my report.
You're welcome. Are there any questions for Mr. Thomas at this time? Yeah. We will now move to item 8, report of the State District Superintendent. Ms. Anderson.
Good evening, Madam Chair. Before I ask the board to step down so that we may see the presentation, I just had 3 acknowledgments that I also wanted to add to this evening. The first is to the staff here at Barringer High School and to all of the planning team members and alumni, including the chair and others who gave of their time and their input to help us re-envision and create a new set of specs here at Barringer. So we just want to applaud Principal Waller, Principal Dennis, the planning team members, the distinguished alumni, and everyone who is here this evening to witness some of the incredible progress here at Barringer. So we thank you all for your tireless efforts. We know it's been a really long summer and an opening school launch, and so we're proud to be here at your school. So thank you all. I also want to acknowledge 2 board members, Ms. Matthias and Mr. Rashidi, with whom I was able to attend a joint school visit. I know we're in the process of scheduling that with other board members who are interested. Had the opportunity to attend both school visits and look forward to further visits where we were able to visit classrooms, look at curriculum, look at facilities, data, and that was an impactful experience, I think, at least for me. So I appreciate all of the things that the chair acknowledged, but also those school visits for me are a really important opportunity for us to walk together and learn. So I just wanted to acknowledge the board members who've done that already and to make an invitation to those who have not been able to do it. I know schedules are sometimes difficult. The last acknowledgement is to the students who participated in Education Nation on behalf of Newark Public Schools. We received an invitation to participate in the student town hall on NBC's Education Nation focused on safety. We had 2 members of our student body attend, and their presentation and the way in which they conducted themselves represented Newark Public Schools so well, and it was a moment of incredible pride. We sent the link to the board and we've placed it on our website, but I believe that Newark Public School students were the highlight of that particular forum and showed what we all know, which is how phenomenal they are and what leaders they are in the city and in the country. So I wanted to acknowledge our students who participated in that, which was amazing. So with that, we will turn to the formal presentation, and I'm going to ask the 3 members of our team that are assisting me with tonight's report to just assemble if you don't mind. Board members, we're going to borrow your seats for a few minutes, and then we'll ask others to step down so that folks can see the screen. Thank you. I think it might be a little difficult to see our presentation. Do note that after every board meeting, we post on our website very clearly a link so that you can look through these materials or print them or do whatever you would like with regard to our presentation. The first update will be Ms. Tia Morris, our Chief Family and Community Engagement Officer, talking about our Power School Parent Portal and our implementation of that initiative.
Good evening, everyone. So in the last several months, we've heard from community members, parents, from principals, that there was a desire to have access to the Power School Parent Portal. And so my office has been working to ensure that every school is online and has access to Power School Parent Portal. The Power School Parent Portal is, Power School is our student information system, and the Parent Portal is a way to provide parents with access to information, including their child's or their students' attendance, their students' grades, as well as teacher comments. It is our goal to ensure that every school is set to be online and uploaded for Parent Portal by December of this year. There are many benefits to Parent Portal, obviously regular and timely homeschool communication, allowing parents to have instantaneous access, and so there should never be a time where a parent walks into a parent-teacher conference and that is the first time that they know how their child is doing in terms of their grades. And so Power School Parent Portal is a way to ensure that parents have access to this information, with the goal of ultimately increasing parental involvement and ensuring that parents have a say in being involved and knowing what's going on with their child's grades. One other benefit is that it really helps to ensure that the teachers and parents have regular communication. We know that there are various means of communication in terms of outreach that teachers might perform. However, we know that many teachers have many students, and so this is another means to provide access to information that parents will find useful. There's certain responsibilities that we're asking the schools to partake in to ensure that it's successful. Those things include allowing their staff members to attend trainings, ensuring that their Power School grades are current, making sure that the right accesses are provided to their staff members, and all of those things are being attended to now. We've already started trainings for this. In fact, we rolled out the first cohort, or the first two cohorts in the spring of this past school year. And so we will be conducting 2 trainings to ensure that all schools are on board. The first training occurred during the first week of October. The second training is occurring this week, starting tomorrow, and schools will, the bell, right? Schools will hold informational sessions with families so they understand what Power School Parent Portal can do, how they have access to it, and make sure that they actually have the means that they need to get involved. So that includes being able to use the computers at school to get signed up, assistance with, creating an email account if that's necessary, and all parent liaisons are being trained, as well as tech coordinators at the school to assist with this. As I mentioned, the rollout is occurring by cohort to ensure that each group of trainees receives the particular attention that they need, that they can have their questions answered and really understand the system. The first 2 cohorts were trained this past spring. The second round of training started the first week of October, so the last 3 cohorts are being trained this week with the goal of then helping to create or assisting them with creating a plan for the rollout at the school level. And by the first week of December, it will be possible for all schools to be up and running. We're hoping that with report cards coming up, that this will be a good opportunity to make sure that grades are online and that families have access to see how their students are doing.
Thank you, Ms. Morris. Wanted to publicly thank you also for your leadership on this. I think families and schools are quite excited about this. It's very transparent, very user-friendly, and once we're all using it, I think it will really help us increase our communication with families. The next report will be given by our Office of College and Career Readiness around student support.
Good afternoon, evening. The student support teams have been established in all of our comprehensive high schools as well as our K-8 elementary and middle schools. The goal of the student support team is to create an environment where you have a multidisciplinary team, including of the principal, guidance counselor, social worker, parent liaison, the core members of the school that support in the development of culture, healthy culture, and climate of the school. In addition, their role is to provide intervention and referral services for our students. So the main goal for this year is to ensure that every school has a consistently meeting student support team. That core group comes together and examines the data on student performance in the school and examines the correlation between the student performance and the staff service delivery to work to enhance the school environment and the resources available to the students. In addition to looking at data, the team will also be providing or addressing individualized referrals that come to the team for young people who may be experiencing challenges either academically or behaviorally, and they will identify members of this core team that will pull away to design a pupil action plan. The parent will be called in to support. There may be a need to outreach for additional community resources and bring them to the table to help with problem solving around the specific needs of the young person. But the goal is to work in a smarter way this year, rather than just focusing only on the individualized needs of young people, but thinking broadly about the school environment and what structures and systems need modification to enhance the young person's experience.
Thank you very much. The student support teams are part of a broader initiative that the Newark Public Schools has undertaken around school climate and safety. We are aware that we must do more, and this is one of many things that we've reported in these public meetings about our real laser-like focus on culture and climate as a part of providing a safe and secure environment for all of our students. So the SSTs is part of that overarching goal, and one we know that is of great concern for obvious reasons to all members of the community. The next update will be provided by Mitch Center, who is communicating on behalf of Dr. Perkins, who had a scheduling conflict this evening, about our summer school outcomes.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. So this summer we offered a range of summer school offerings, including student leadership opportunities, summer youth development, visual and performing arts, career exploration program for middle school students, and a full extended day called Project Plus, which I will go into in a little bit. At the elementary school level, we focused on critical math and literacy skills, as well as project-based learning opportunities, and in the secondary level, we offered a summer bridge program for rising 8th graders preparing for 9th grade, credit recovery, and acceleration. This slide shows some of the enrollment numbers in the various programs. As you see on the bottom row, we were down one kid as compared to last year overall, with some shifts in different programs. So we served slightly more elementary students, slightly more students in the English Plus program. The Project Plus program was new, and so that's where we offered some acceleration and enrichment. The summer sports program remained even. Our SYDP, Summer Youth Development Program, was down some, while our secondary program was up a few hundred students. This slide looks at the range of results that we saw across the grades. And as you can see, it's quite a range. And just what these numbers mean really is, at the beginning of the summer, the students took a pre-assessment, so we saw what skills they came in with, and so we had some baseline data, and then when they left, they took a similar assessment. And so if the average score, let's say in first grade, was 50% at the beginning of the summer, then at the end of the summer, if they went up 16 percentage points, then the average overall would have been 66%. So this is the average increase. So as you can see, we had the most success in 4th and 5th grade in literacy, and some work to continue to do in the middle grades, in 6th, 7th, and 8th. The math results, same process. We had, it's a little bit steadier and a little bit more success in the middle school, and some more moderate growth. I failed to mention the literacy program. We were using, it was a homegrown developed program developed by teachers and school representatives. The math program, we used a program called Summer Success, which is a Houghton Mifflin program, and similar, they are the same folks who have developed Math in Focus, which is one of the math programs used in many of our schools. Project Plus was new this year, and to say a little bit about it, we served 250 students. It was popular with many students and families. What was different and interesting about this was that we serviced kids all day, so they were receiving academic supports in the morning, and then in the afternoon they were participating in programs with a range of external partners. So Project Use, Playwrights of New Jersey, and NJ PAC all partnered with kids to do a variety of different things. So in Project Use, for example, the kids were involved in boat building and some outdoor education, and they got involved with the arts with some of the other groups. Some things we know that we need to work on to continue or extend Project Plus: more coordination with students coming from a variety of programs, and more and earlier communication with families so they know what to expect in the program. Finally, some results from the high school. This is the number of students that we served and the grade distribution. As you can see, covering the full range, we had just over 1,000 students scoring in the A and B range, just under 1,000 students scoring in the D and F range, and these are the sites where they were serviced through the summer. Thank you.
Madam Chair, that concludes our presentation, and we would at this time invite the board back to the dais.
Thank you, Superintendent Anderson. We will now move to item 9 on our agenda, which is our voting items. Our first item is item 1, resolution for approval of in-state, out-of-state field trips. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Rashan, second.
I heard Ms. Mathias.
Ms. Mathias, second, yes.
Motion to approve the academic services item, moved by Mr. Hassan, second by Mr. Matias. Roll call, Mr. Hassan.
Yes.
Mr. Kenny.
Yes.
Mr. Lewis. Ms. Matias.
Yes.
Dr. McCreary.
Yes.
Ms. Perrello.
Yes.
Mr. Rashidi.
Yes.
Chair Baskell Richardson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
We will now move to finance and operations items. May I have a motion? We would like to break out item 30, and that's P22, to vote on separately. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Hassan, second. Ms. Mathias.
This is a motion to vote on, we didn't vote on items 1 through 29? Can we do that?
To vote on items 1 through 29 and 31 through 34.
Okay, it's a motion to actually break out the items, two separate motions, 1 through 29 and 31 through 24, then separately item 30. This is a motion to vote that way. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain?
I'm sorry, Madam Chair,
Yes.
can I just make a modification to that? Also, item number 13P5,
I'm sorry, item number,
13P5.
P5, you want to pull out P5?
Yes, I just had a couple questions.
oh, I'm sorry, so you don't want to pull it out. You want to ask questions before we vote? Is
Before
that
we
it?
vote on it. Mhm.
All right, do you want to take
Okay,
this,
so-
want to take discussion now? P5?
Okay, so let's have the discussion at this time
Okay.
before we,
Yep.
yes, Mr. Khan?
Madam Chair, these, the questions that Ms. Matias posed didn't necessarily come up in our committee meeting. However, Ms. Matias did receive some information through the New Jersey School Board Association that I think warrants some additional discussion on this. She was advised that certain school districts are being, in essence, charged for students who no longer actually reside in that municipality because during the original time of their incarceration, their family did live in the city of Newark. So Ms. Matias wanted to know if obviously the district could check and ensure that any students that we are paying for, their families still reside in the city of Newark. And she also asked what the actual count was in regards to students who will be receiving these services that we're paying for.
Okay,
You want me to answer?
yes, Ms. Wilson. if you can-
Good evening, Madam Chair, board members, community. In terms of P5, this is to pay for educational services for students in state-run institutions who are incarcerated, neglected, or delinquent. While I do not have the number handy at this point in time of how many students we are serving, there is a process by which we confirm or verify the residency of students, and should that be in question, we do advocate for them to be removed from our roles and have done so in the past.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson.
Thank you. Just a minute, Ms. Matias, does that satisfy what
Um,
you're asking?
Yes, that's fine. I'll just send a follow-up email just for the number.
Thank
Okay.
you. Mr. Kenny?
I'd like to separate P16, item number 24.
P16?
Yeah, P16.
Okay, why don't we have discussion on that?
Okay, I think that we did have a discussion on that at the,
Finance Committee, that's the leasing.
at the business, finance operations.
Yes, we actually had an in-depth discussion about that. Now, item P16 is actually a 60-month open and lease for vehicles that will be utilized by our facilities team. During that discussion, we were advised that our district also utilizes these vehicles to do snow plowing. and that the fact that we've had these leases on these vehicles in the district, and we like to continue that practice, believe that it will continue to allow the district to save funds in regards to snow plowing, among other things that were discussed in that committee meeting.
Yeah, I just had, even at the committee meeting, I just think that with a lot of the arrangement of funds and cutting, I just didn't agree with spending an additional 79 on leasing or purchasing 2 vehicles. I think we can best utilize some of our resources within our pool, so that's why I would like to have that separated.
Let me clarify for you, Mr. Kinney. These particular leases are for trucks, as Mr. Hassan has indicated, that are used in the facilities department. We have some 73 schools and some probably 8 other facilities that my staff needs to move around in order to provide services. They do need to have a way to be transported there. So these vehicles are used during the day for workmen, tradespeople to get around. They also use their personal cars, for which they get car fare reimbursement. There is a need to also carry tools, which these trucks do, and instead of staff going backwards and forwards to the warehouse, they carry a basic set of tools and parts which will allow them to respond to emergencies. As Mr. Hassan has also indicated, in the last 4 years, we have begun to plow our lots, parking lots. In some cases, we have even plowed city streets to facilitate the reopening of schools when the city was unable to complete that task. So these are multi-purpose vehicles used for that reason. As with any other vehicle, they have a useful life where once they get over a certain mileage and they've had enough road wear, we have to replace. So we do replace on a very specific maintenance schedule. The 60-month lease allows us to spread out the payments over some 5 years versus making the initial investment in one lump sum.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. At this time, there is a motion on the floor to vote on all items except number 30. So,
Madam Chair.
Excuse me, Mr. Kinney, what I would like to ask now, if you are satisfied with the information that you have, or do you still wish to separate out item number 24?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Hassan, if you would, I would like to request if you would withdraw the motion, and that we, if you would entertain a motion that we vote on all items except 24 and 30, and that we move on those items.
It's fine with me, Madam Chair.
Thank you. So moved by Mr. Hassan. Second, Ms. Matthias.
Okay, so this is a motion to vote on all finance items with the exception of 2430. It's moved by Mr. Hassan, second by Ms. Matthias. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain?
Aye.
You are, Mr. Kenny, you're opposed to the motion to vote on the package? It was a motion
This is
not to
the
vote,
actual
it's to
vote.
take it.
This is the vote to separate
Yeah,
the two items.
yeah, so we're voting on everything except for 24 and 30.
Well, I
You're
have
okay with that?
reason why
I'm sorry, but we're actually,
I object. I said no because I had
okay, you don't
items
have to.
I wanted to add.
I'm sorry, but right now, we're actually taking the vote. If you would like to comment, if you could wait until after we take the vote.
Well, it have to do with my vote because I have items that I don't want to vote on tonight. That's why, I wanted to add items too.
Okay, I'm sorry. So you're asking to separate out other items?
Yes.
Madam Chair, if I may,
Yes, Mr. Hassan.
as the Chair of the Finance and Operations Committee, I respectfully ask that if there are additional questions in regards to the finance or operation items that are placed before us for voting tonight, that as board members, we can discuss them prior to making any further motions to separate any items on our agenda, if you will allow us to conduct ourselves in that manner.
Yes,
Madam?
sir. Yes, I think that that may be helpful so that we don't end up separating out a lot of the items that we have to vote on this evening. So we will put aside the vote for now and move forward with the discussion.
Oh,
Mr. Lewis?
I would like to, before, discuss these items before we even vote on them. That's why I was asking for us to not vote at that time, because I wanted to discuss some things before we actually vote. For example, Madam BA said that we're snowpiling our own properties. So in that case, I was asking, why are we giving a contract for snowpiling if we're doing our own property already? So that's a question I had. Also, I asked last week about the city, instead of us paying outside vendors, how about we ask the city to come in and take over our recycling and our bulk waste and trimming, so that we can, because we know that our city is in a deficit, so we can help our city in the time of need to lower their gap, their budget gap, instead of hiring somebody outside to do it. So, these are questions that I have. Smart spending, and
I'm sorry, Mr. Lewis, just so that we can be sure that we are on point with you, if you could just give the reference numbers for the items.
P4,
Thank you.
P7, P8, and P10.
Thank you. So P4 is snow plowing. P7 is recycling pickup disposal. P8 is bulk waste pickup and disposal. And P10 is tree trimming services. Did you have, I'm going to ask Ms. Wilson to address these issues. They were already addressed in detail in the Finance Operations Committee, but Ms. Wilson, I'm sure, can address those. Were there any other specific concerns regarding those items before she responds?
No, those is my concern, and I'm not a member of that committee, so I didn't have the privilege to sit in that meeting. But these are concerns I have. When I look at us saving money, and also, we have a city that's in need of helping with their budget, for us to help offset their budget as well. So I'm just concerned about, if we're going to pay somebody outside, why not start with the city of Newark
Thank you, Mr.
to help us with our services.
Ms. Wilson, can you address these items, please?
Yes, Madam Chair, and I'll have Mr. Hassan work with me on addressing them. Mr. Lewis, let me remind you that at our business meeting last week, we discussed 3 of those 4 items, specifically snow plowing, bulk waste pickup, and recycling. I indicated to you at that time that I did not have information on tree trimming. Let me go over the information again. Snow plowing. We sometimes plow city streets in order to allow our schools to open, because the city is unable to handle the volume that we have. We have approached them in the past to ask for a partnership. In terms of bulk pickup, they also are unable to provide the services we would need. We publicly bid these contracts. In terms of recycling, we have approached them, and that is the same. In terms of tree trimming, we are in fact working with the city right now, not only to partner on a contract, but actually to go to an external vendor, because they are unable to handle the services that they need to provide for trimming trees on city-owned property or in public spaces. The same applies in terms of recycling. We are looking to partner with them, but be very clear, they will be going to an external vendor for these services, because they are unable to service the city, much less to take on additional contract responsibilities. Does that make it clear?
I just would like to request that, Madam BA, if you can have a conversation with the BA for the city of Newark, you two have this conversation about really taking over services. I don't think at this time that the city will reject taking any, services, because they're in need of funds, and why not circulate in the community where we at, instead of, going outside, looking for some outside vendor. If we can just, if I can request that you and BA Neal sit down and really have a conversation about this contract.
Madam Chair, if I may,
Yes,
I do understand,
Mr. Hassan.
obviously, the statements that were made this evening, but I definitely want to caution the advisement to do so, because the only thing this district can do is invite the city to the bid. We have to be very careful in terms of what kind of conversations take place between the district and the municipality of the city of Newark. And everything that was said this evening, I think that there's a bigger issue at hand, and that's that we have a city which obviously has some issues there in regards to the manpower, because they are in fact contracting those services out. I'm not sure how the city would be able to assist us in those areas if they're already contracting those services out. I do recommend that we continue to invite them to bid on these services, and it will be up to the city to, conduct themselves in a manner that they see fit. I will ensure that I continue to have discussions with Ms. Wilson in regards to the partnership for the tree trimming services. I think that it's a good news story for the city and for the school district, wherever we can collaborate on those services, and obviously cut some costs for the districts and make sure that we have an opportunity to provide employment opportunities for Newark residents.
Let me also add the fact that since we had that conversation at the business meeting, it is because I have reached out and done some research that we know which contracts we've actually approached the city on and tried to work with them. So let's be clear that that is an ongoing conversation, as Chair Hassan has indicated.
I just wanted to say the reason why I believe the BA of the city of Newark is a professional, and the BA of Newark Public Schools is professional. They know what guidelines that they can cross and they can't cross. So that's why I suggested that. I'm not in that field. I'm not a BA, so I don't claim to be a BA. So that's why I suggested that the BA of Newark Public Schools and the BA of the city of Newark have that conversation.
Madam Chair.
I don't claim to be in a field that I'm not in.
Am I on?
Yes.
Just one comment. Mr. Lewis, notwithstanding the request to have appropriate, where it's appropriate, conversations with the city, we do understand that application. I just want to caution and just legally inform the board, or remind the board, that we do have a fiduciary responsibility, notwithstanding those conversations that may continue, to ensure that we put these services in place. So what I would ask the board to do, to allow the district to procure these services. If in fact superseding conversations present a better outcome, we can always make those adjustments and give you that information immediately. But we would be hampered in our preparation for what's coming in terms of weather and our preparation for the bids we have to secure if we're not allowed to prepare for these services.
Thank you. Mr. Lewis?
Thank you, General Counsel. I understand the importance. I just wanted to put that motion on the table, so now I feel comfortable with voting because I put that forward, what I would like and expect the city, the district to do in upcoming circumstances.
And let me remind Mr. Lewis, Chair Baskerville, that the snow plowing contract is a backup contract. We actually do snow plowing totally in-house, to some $700,000 in savings.
Thank you. So, Mr. Lewis, are you comfortable then to move forward voting on, as a package, all items
Except for 24 and 30.
except for 24 and 30?
Just real quick before I answer that question. So if we do get a better deal from the city, are we able to back out of them contracts?
No, we would not back out of a contract which we've awarded at this point in time. One of these contracts is in fact a renewal. The other two are new contracts. As I've indicated before, we are looking into working with the city on both recycling and tree trimming to go to an external vendor. So while we have a contract in place, we will use that contract as the need arises, and should there be the opportunity to partner with the city in order to reduce expenses for both entities, we will do that.
Thank you.
Okay, I asked that because I know in the past we was able to get out of a contract. I know we had some type of language in certain contracts where we felt as though we wanted to suspend services or discontinue our services. We were allowed to, so that's why.
Mr. Lewis, in potential violation of public contracting law, I would suggest we stop that particular part of the conversation at this point.
All right, let's vote. Come on.
Mr. Lewis, are you comfortable to move forward with the motion as stands, voting on everything as a package except number 24 and number 30?
Let's keep it separate.
I'm sorry.
Let's keep it separate, please.
What are you asking that we keep separate?
Let us separate P4, P7, P8, and P10.
Mr. Hassan, would you amend your motion then to, excuse me? I understand that, but I would like to know if he's willing to amend his motion. Are you willing to, the question is on the floor, are you willing to amend the motion so that we vote on all items except 24, 30, 12,
15 and 16.
I'm sorry,
15, what are you saying, 15, 16? Which one?
15,
16.
and you
16.
said P10, correct?
Yes.
18?
That's 18. Are those the correct ones?
Yes.
All right, so you're pulling out 12, 15, 16, 18, 24, and 30, right?
No, that's not correct. You
Snow-
said,
snow
Mr.
plowing.
Lewis, P4
Yep.
is number 12,
Yep. Recycling period,
P7
15.
is number 15.
Bulk waste, 16. Bulk waste is 16.
Okay, that's P8 is 16.
Tree trimming is 18,
P10 is 18.
and then 24 and 30.
24 and 30.
All right, so Mr. Hassan, are we refining the motion then to vote on a block with the exception of those items, which is 12, 15, 16, 18, 24, and 30?
Question, was my original motion seconded?
It was seconded by Ms. Matias.
Then that motion no longer belongs to me.
We can vote on that motion, but it might cause complications in terms of the records. So I think that's the cleanest way to do it would be to
If the
refine.
motion was seconded, it no longer belongs to me at this time.
Okay, I'd like to amend the motion to vote on items 12, 15, 16, 18, 24, and 30 separately.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Kenny, before we vote, did you have a question or a comment?
Madam Chair, I requested information last week.
I'm sorry, does this relate to the motion that's on the floor?
It does relate to it because it relates to my vote.
Does it relate to the
regarding
motion that's on the floor?
We're voting as a package, correct? On items that we did not pull out. So what I wanted to get information for was regarding P12, regarding professional development. And I asked for that information at the last meeting, at the business meeting, as well as asked for at the finance meeting regarding the specific awarded contracts from last year for professional developers, specifically the new teacher project was one. The new teacher project was one. The second one was new leaders. And those are specific items that I asked for, how much was awarded last year. And I didn't receive any numbers. I thought I would receive it this evening, but I didn't receive anything this evening or receive anything in my board package. So we can get an idea as to what was spent last year regarding those two organizations.
I do know that on Friday's packet, you received information on the PQS pieces. Were those two vendors not included in that packet on Friday?
No, ma'am. I didn't receive anything
Okay.
of what was awarded in last year's, for
Okay.
last year's amount.
Then I don't have that information regarding those two vendors. What we did address for you were the actual PQS items that were on the agenda. I do apologize for the delay, and will ensure that you have that information.
Sure.
Which, can I ask that you put that in writing so that way I don't miss any of the vendors?
Sure.
Please, thank you.
So, Madam Chair, it seems like we're pulling a lot of pulling out. I would definitely like to to add P12, and there's a reason why. It's a Michelle reorganization, and I just don't feel comfortable voting for that organization at all regarding professional development.
Madam
so-
Chair? I'm sorry.
Ms. Matthias, yes.
I just wanted to point out to Mr. Kinney that those two organizations aren't on this. You said P12, correct? It's Youth Build and Big Picture.
It's, please look at the pre-qualification solicitation for professional development and curriculum and learning environments. It's Insight Education Group, New Leaders, Princeton Center for Leadership Training, the Washington Center for Education Leadership.
Okay, maybe
TNTP, which is the New Leaders Teachers Project, as well as Voyager Learning and Cambium Education.
So what I'm saying is you might have the wrong item number then, because that's
Okay.
not P12.
P12,
Item P12 is a renewal for services numbered as
8189.
8162A1.
So I do apologize. So I believe that's item number 19. I'm sorry.
So we're looking at item P19.
P19, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so on P19, this is a renewal. I don't have numbers for what my understanding was, that the packet we sent on Friday were the vendors who received awards last year and who were paid. So while a contract was awarded with a limit of a certain amount, that particular vendor may not have been awarded work or have been selected by a school. So the packet you received included, to my knowledge, all of the vendors who were in that original solicitation for last school year and who in fact received work and the amount of work that they received. So Voyager and TNTP may not have received work last year, but are being renewed, as others who may have received work are not being renewed. I will, however, check on those two once you put it in writing. Does that clarify?
Sure. I still wanted to have it separated.
No problem.
I'm sorry, which item is that?
P19.
Are there any other
TNTP.
items at this time that anyone wants to vote on separately? Can we simply
Excuse me, before we,
have that information?
Madam
Yes, sir.
Chair, before we move on to that, I have a document here that was placed in my board packet, which is dated Friday, October 18th, 2013, 12:38 p.m. And this document that I have before me shows these vendors that are listed on P19, and it also shows the amount in which they were awarded for services last year. Professional development for Princeton Center for Leadership Training, they were awarded $0. New Leaders Incorporated, $0. TNTP, $0. Insight Education Group Incorporated, $0. So the information is here.
You said the New Leaders Incorporated? Is that what you said?
That's what's here. It has it in this document.
TNTP is what is the
TNTP.
New Leaders Teachers Project, correct? And I'm not sure exactly if this conversation needs to happen, but if I stated I choose to have that separated, that's my choice and my vote, correct?
I do understand that. I'm not trying to be argumentative.
Excuse me, Mr.
I'm
Kenny,
just-
what was your question? I'm sorry.
I'm
If
just
I may-
stating that the information is there.
Madam Chair, you asked me a question, so I want to address the
Excuse me.
board chair.
Excuse me.
I want to address the board chair. If I decided to have my vote separated based on items, that's my choice as a voter here on the board. That's what people elected me to do, to make decisions for me.
Excuse me, Mr. Kenny.
To make decisions on
Mr.
behalf
Kenny.
of children. Let me
Mr.
finish
Ken-
my point,
No,
because you
sir,
asked the
Mr.
question.
Kenny. Mr. Kenny, you're out of order. It is not necessary to have this conversation. You have made the request to separate the item, so we don't have to discuss whether or not you have the right to do that. At this point, so that we may move the meeting, I would like to ask Mr. Lewis if you would withdraw your motion, and that we may simply have a motion to vote on each item separately, so that we may move this evening forward. Okay, so will you withdraw the motion that you seconded?
I withdraw.
Thank you. Yes, we're going to vote on each of the finance items separately.
All right, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. Is there a motion to vote on item 1, Board Secretary Report for July and August 2013?
Move it.
Move. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Matthias.
Okay, this is a motion to vote on the Board Secretary Report, Finance Item Number 1, moved by Mr. Lewis, second by Matthias. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed or abstain? Board report carries. Yeah.
Board members, please be clear that with each vote, we are actually voting on the item. Item number 2, Treasurer Report. Is there?
So moved.
Okay, I think Mr. Lewis moved, second,
Second, Hassan.
Mr. Hassan.
Treasury report moved by Lewis, second by Hassan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? That carries.
Item 3, Transfers and Modifications Report. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Hassan, second, Mr. Lewis.
Finance Item Number 3, moved by Hassan, second by Lewis. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? That carries. Item 4.
Item 4, Authorization for Operating Account Checks, September 2013. Is there a motion?
Lewis.
Mr. Lewis, second.
Hassan.
Mr. Hassan.
Item number 4, Lewis, Hassan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? That carries. Item 5.
Item 5, Authorization for District Travel, October 2013. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved, Mr. Hassan.
Second.
Second, Mr. Lewis.
Finance Item Number 5, Hassan, Lewis. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? That carries.
Authorization, item 6, Authorization Evacuation Drills. Is there a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Lewis, Mr. Hassan.
Finance Item Number 6, Lewis, Hassan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? That carries. 7.
Item 7, IBM Kids Smart Early Learning Program.
Move
Is there
it.
a motion? Mr. Lewis.
Second, Hassan.
Second, Hassan.
Finance Item Number 7, Lewis, Hassan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? That carries. 8.
Item 8, School Improvement Grants, permission to accept funds and affirm program
Move it.
purpose.
Second,
I'm sorry, who made the motion?
Mr. Lewis.
Lewis, second, Hassan.
Finance Item Number 8, Lewis, Hassan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? That carries.
Item 9, P1, Operation and Management of Food Service Program, renewal of contract. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved Hassan, second Lewis.
Finance Item Number 9, Hassan, Lewis. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? That carries. 10.
Item 10, P2, Extended Day Food Program Amendment to Renewal Contract. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Hassan,
Second.
second Mr. Lewis.
Finance Item Number 10, Hassan, Lewis. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? That carries. Item Number 11.
Item 11, P3, Garbage Collection Renewal of Contract. Is there a motion?
Move it.
Second, Hassan.
Lewis, Hassan. Okay, so we will do a roll call vote on those items that have been requested to be removed.
Okay, so this is
I mean, to be separated, I'm sorry.
So this is a Finance Item 11P3. Mr. Hassan?
Yes.
Kenny?
Yes.
Lewis?
Abstain.
Matthias?
Yes.
Dr. McCreary?
Yes.
Perrello?
Yes.
Mr. Rashidi?
Yes.
Chair Basco-Richardson?
Yes.
Carries.
Item 12, P4, snow plowing renewal of contract.
So moved.
Hassan, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Rashidi.
Second,
Rashidi.
Mr. Rashidi.
This is finance item number 12, moved by Mr. Hassan, second by Mr. Rashidi. Roll call, Mr. Hassan.
Yes.
Mr. Kenny?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Abstain.
Ms. Matthias?
Yes.
Dr. McCreary?
Yes.
Ms. Perrello?
Yes.
Mr. Rashidi?
Yes.
Chair Basco-Richardson?
Yes.
Carries. 13.
Item 13, P5, educational services for students in state-run institutions incarcerated, neglected, and delinquent.
Move it.
Second Hassan.
Mr. Lewis, Hassan.
Finance item number 13, moved by Lewis, second by Hassan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? Carries. Number 14.
Item 14, P6, asbestos removal, treatment of asbestos support.
So moved.
Mr. Hassan?
Hassan.
Is there a second?
Second.
I think Mr. Rashidi was first.
Okay, finance item 14, moved by Hassan, second by Rashidi. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? That carries. 15.
Item 15, P7, recycling pickup disposal.
So moved.
Mr. Hassan, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Rashidi?
Finance item number 15, moved by Hassan, second by Rashidi. Mr. Hassan.
I think this was one of the items that was asked to be voted.
Yeah, we're-
Yes, we're doing
separately.
roll
We're doing roll call on this.
Okay. Yes.
Mr. Hassan's a yes. Mr. Kenny?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Abstain.
Ms. Matthias?
Yes.
Dr. McCreary?
Yes.
Ms. Perrello?
Yes.
Mr. Rashidi?
Yes.
Chair Basco-Richardson?
Yes.
Carries. 16.
Item 16, P8, bulk waste pickup and disposal. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Hassan, second.
Mr. Matthias.
Ms. Matthias?
Okay, this is finance item number 15. We're going to do roll call on this one. Moved by Hassan, second by Matthias. Mr. Hassan?
Yes.
Mr. Kenny?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Abstain.
Ms. Matthias?
Yes.
Dr. McCreary?
Yes.
Ms. Perrello?
Yes.
Mr. Rashidi?
Yes.
Chair Basco-Richardson?
Yes.
Carries. That was 16, rather 17.
Item 17, P9, refrigeration and freezers for cafeterias.
So moved.
Mr. Hassan?
Second.
Mr. Lewis?
Okay, number 17, Hassan, Lewis, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? 17 carries. 18.
Number 18, P10, tree trimming services renewal of contract.
So moved.
Mr. Hassan?
Second.
Ms. Matthias?
This is roll call, right. This is number 18, finance item number 18, moved by Mr. Hassan, second by Ms. Matthias. Mr. Hassan?
Yes.
Mr. Kenny?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Matthias?
Yes.
Dr. McCreary?
Yes.
Ms. Perrello?
Yes.
Ms. Pinto-Marin? I'm sorry. Mr. Rashidi?
Yes.
Chair Basco-Richardson?
Yes.
Carries. 19.
P19, I'm sorry, 19, P11, paving services set aside for minority and women-owned businesses, renewal of contract.
So moved.
Hassan?
Second.
Second.
Kenny? Finance item number 19, Hassan and Kenny, all in favor?
Yeah. Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? That motion carries. 20.
Number 20, P12, professional development for school leaders, renewal of contract.
So moved.
Mr. Hassan?
Second.
Second, Mr. Rashidi?
This is roll call. This is roll call? Okay. Number 20, finance item number 20, moved by Hassan, second by Rashidi. Mr. Hassan?
Yes.
Mr. Kenny?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Matthias?
Yes.
Dr. McCreary?
Yes.
Ms. Perrello?
Yes.
Mr. Rashidi?
Yes.
Chair Basco-Richardson?
Yes.
Carries. 21.
Number 21, P13, professional development services for teachers in grades 5 and 6.
So moved.
Ms.
Mr.
Hassan?
Hassan?
Second.
Second, Mr. Rashidi?
Finance number 21, moved by Hassan, second by Rashidi. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? 21 carries. 22.
22, P14, high school athletic supplies and equipment.
So moved.
Mr. Hassan?
Second.
Second, Mr. Rashidi?
Finance item number 22, Hassan Rashidi, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? 22 approved. 23.
23, P15, USDA pickup, storage, and delivery.
So moved.
Second.
Hassan and Lewis.
Yes.
Finance item number 23, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? 23 approved. Number 24.
24, P16, 60-month open and lease contract for vehicles.
So moved.
Hassan.
Hassan, second.
Second.
Second, Ms. Matthias.
Okay, this is a roll call. Number 24. Mr. Hassan?
Yes.
Mr. Kenny?
No.
Mr. Lewis?
No.
Ms. Matthias?
Yes.
Dr. McCreary?
Yes.
Ms. Perrella?
Yes.
Mr. Rashidi?
Yes.
Chair Basketball Richardson?
Yes.
24 approved. 25.
25, P17, annual maintenance for point-of-sale software.
So moved.
Mr. Hassan,
Second.
Ms. Matthias.
Yes.
Finance item 25, Hassan, Matthias, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? 25 approved. 26.
26, P18, certified consultant support.
So moved.
Mr. Hassan.
Second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Lewis.
Finance item 26, Hassan and Lewis, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? 26 approved. 27.
Item 27, P19, PQS for professional development and curriculum renewal of contract.
So moved.
Move, Mr. Hassan.
Second.
Second, Mr. Rashidi.
Okay, finance item number 27, Hassan Rashidi. This is a roll call. Mr. Hassan?
Yes.
Mr. Kenny?
No.
Mr. Lewis?
Abstain.
Okay. Ms. Matthias?
Yes.
Dr. McCreary?
Yes.
Ms. Perrella?
Yes.
Mr. Rashidi?
Yes.
Chair Basketball Richardson?
Yes.
27 approved. 28.
28, P20, PQS for professional development and curriculum.
So moved.
Mr. Hassan.
Second.
Second, Ms. Matthias.
Voting on finance item number 28, Hassan Matthias, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? 28 approved. 29.
29, P21, PQS for partner to provide expanded learning time initiative in schools. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Move, Mr. Hassan.
Second.
Second, Mr. Rashidi.
Finance item 29, Hassan Rashidi, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? 29 approved. 30.
30, P22, stand and deliver.
So moved.
Hassan.
Second.
Second, Matthias.
Matthias. Finance item 30, moved by Mr. Hassan, second by Ms. Matthias. Roll call. Mr. Hassan.
Yes.
Mr. Kenny.
Yes.
Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
Ms. Matthias.
Yes.
Dr. McCreary.
Yes.
Ms. Perrella.
Yes.
Mr. Rashidi.
Yes.
Chair Basketball Richardson.
Abstain.
Motion carries. 31.
Item 31, P23, ACT testing.
So moved.
Mr. Hassan.
Second.
Ms. Matthias, second.
Finance item 31, Hassan Matthias, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? 31 approved. 32.
Item 32, P24, arts and education model development and
Move it.
dissemination project. Moved by Mr. Lewis.
Second, Hassan.
Second, Mr. Hassan.
Finance item 32, Lewis Hassan, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? 32 approved. Finance 33.
33, P15, Lotus Yoga for students.
Move it.
Mr.
Lewis.
Second, Hassan.
Second, Mr. Hassan.
Finance item 33, Lewis Hassan, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained?
Abstention.
Mr. Kenny abstains. Motion carries.